Okay, moving on to 5.2, changes to factor markets, supply and demand. Explaining what the characteristics of perfectly competitive factor markets. Essentially, the main things of the characteristics of these factor markets are that there's many buyers and sellers, so there's no single entity controlling the market. So no one person can influence. There's homogeneous products, so all workers or resources are identical. I think so. There's no individual differences between labor inputs. There's no barriers to entry, so free entry, free exit. Businesses can enter, leave as they please. And then they are price takers. So both buyers and sellers just take the market price as it's given, and they don't have any control over it. All right, so question 2 is drawing a graph showing a firm operating in perfectly competitive factor market, and then we're gonna dive into explaining the different curves and where the optimal point is to hire. So for our perfect competitive factor market graphs, you have your two side-by-sides, and then over here you're going to have your demand curve going down, your supply curve going up right here. Label them. We're going to label our wage, our quantity, and then over on this side, we're going to draw our MRP curve, and then I'll do this so you can see how it goes across. We're gonna do our equilibrium over here, and it carries over into this side too. So this line is our MRP, and then basically the MRP curve slopes down, showing the diminishing returns. And as more workers are hired, it just means the additional output for each worker that's hired is going to decrease as time goes on. And then for the MRC curve follows that horizontal straight line from the equilibrium, because in a perfect competitive labor market, the MRC is that horizontal line at the market wage rate, showing that each additional worker, just they all cost the same, they are all getting paid that same flat rate. Over here though, you can see that when the demand is increasing, you're gonna have your new equilibrium point, or where your intersection is up here, and then you're gonna have your new line up here, and you'll see that the point just moves to the left over here. And then over here, you'll have your lines that meet down. And really this point where, these points where your MRP equals your MRC is, the firm is continuing to hire workers until the MRP of the last worker equals the MRC, which is your wage rate. And the optimal point is where MRC or MRP equals MRC. The firm maximizes profit and achieves the most efficient allocation of their labor. And over here we can just come back and label our QE for equilibrium. I'm just gonna label this Q1. And then I'll just do our wage equilibrium, our wage 1. And then over here, I'll just show our quantity of our firm and quantity of our firm again. And I guess I should mention that this is our firm and this is our market. So yeah, this was our equilibrium point before. It moves up here this way. All right, so moving on to the next question using our labor market table over here to help answer our questions. Question 1 asks us, after which worker does diminishing marginal returns occur, and why does that DMR occur? And so basically diminishing marginal returns happen when that additional output, like in this case the pounds of like potatoes harvested per hour produced by additional worker, like it happens when that number starts to decrease. So you can see like that over here. And so to show it though, we have to like calculate the MP of like the marginal price per worker. Because over here, obviously like the pounds are increasing because you're having more workers, but like you want to know how productive they're being like per individual. And so over here you can see it goes like 3, 4, so we're increasing. But then over here we start to go down to like 3, 2, 1. So to maximize profits, this firm should hire workers as long as the MRP of the worker is greater than or equal to the wage that's $5. So that we've got $5 wage we're working with, $5 an hour, and the MRP is the MP of the worker times the price, which is $2. So that's where we got like our 3 times $2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8, 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4, you get the gist. And so this firm should hire until the MRP is greater to or equal than the $5 an hour wage. And so based on this, the firm should be hiring 3 workers because the MRP for our 4th worker over here goes down to 4. And like that means that they are being like, they're getting $5, but they're only bringing in $4, so the company's losing money because of that. So question 3 asks us, if the price of potatoes now doubles to $4, then how many workers would they be able to hire and why? So essentially the firm, as we said, should hire workers until the MRP is greater than or equal to the wage of $5 per hour. And since the MRP for the 4th worker is now $8, which is above 5, and then for the 5th worker it's only $4, which is obviously below 5, the firm should hire 4 workers to maximize their profits. Question 4 asks, explain what would happen if the supply of workers suddenly increased in the market and what impact would that have on the company? So if we've got like our 1st worker, then our 2nd, our 3rd, our 4th, if more workers are available, the firm might like take them and be like, yeah, come on our team. But each additional worker is slowly going to start contributing less and less and less to the total output of the company. So, you have your 1st person that's like, yeah, I made 50. Your 2nd's like, I made 30. So you're like, okay, all right, just a little less, but like whatever. Then your 3rd person's only making 15, and then your 4th person is making $2. So each additional worker is contributing less, and this could lead to higher costs for the firm if the increase in output doesn't really justify how much it's like costing to hire this person, this person, this person.